So, whether you are a novel writer or screenplay writer or both like me, here is why write every day is terrible advice. Okay? Now, I kind of embellished a bit, or at least over exaggerated a bit when I said it's terrible advice. I don't think it's terrible advice, but I do think it's not the most healthy advice one should give. Hence, why I am pretty much sharing my take on the aspect of why write every day is not the best advice you should give to aspiring writers, young writers, seasoned writers, any type of writer, right? Wherever you are on your writing journey, I don't think write every day is the best advice. For starters, burnout is a thing, people, even with activities that we love. You might love writing just as much as I do, but I can tell you right now, burnout from writing is, a bitch. Like it burnout from everything else. Writing is just like with every other, like it could be your job. You could love your job, but if you work too much, you can burn yourself out. You can love working out, you being physically active like I do, right? But even that becomes, again, too much. You can burn yourself out from that. You can love consuming, playing video games, consuming art in general. There are times where you just burn yourself out to the point where, it's like, I know with me, I'm a big music lover. But there are times where it's like, okay, I've been listening to so much music. Not that everything sounds the same, but I'm not even feeling the music that I listen to. A big part of why I enjoy listening to music is the feeling that I get from it. Whereas if I was constantly consuming songs after song, music after music, whatever the case is, I get burned out from it. Same thing with my writing. You know, if I were to do it every single day, there's going to be a point in time where I do get burnt out. Now, do I want to up my writing activity? Absolutely. You know, I don't think I could go a week without it. So I still am in love with it to the point where it's like if I go a week without it, I feel incomplete to some extent. But every single day, my life just doesn't permit it that much. And yeah, people can say, well, if you have 10 minutes here and 30 minutes here and 5 minutes here, sure. But what if in those 5 minutes, because my day has been so hectic, if someone doesn't have 10 minutes or 5 minutes to dedicate to writing every day, clearly it's because their day, it could be them mismanaging their time, or it could be because their day has just been filled with so much that 5 minutes might be heaven, but that 5 minutes just might be needed for them. It might be the only time they get other than sleep for them to just decompress, be wide awake, decompress, and just sit down, maybe just unwind. And if you go from whatever hectic schedule that you have to now having to focus brain power on writing your story or perfecting a scene or whatever, and that can be rough, and that can just add to the frustration of just not the day, but again, that can add to the burnout. And when I say that this is bad advice, it's because I want you to avoid getting into that mode of burnout. You love writing. I love writing. I want us to continue to love what we do. And love of anything, whether it's writing, again, whether it's working out, consuming music. Heck, you hear music. Excuse me, choking on some pineapple chunks. But you hear music artists all the time talk about how they just need a break. They don't really want to tour or perform a lot. They don't want to, they just take music breaks. These things happen to writers as well. Don't sell yourself short because, we're not as famous as, singers and rappers and pop stars and whatever, right? Actors even take breaks because they just have that burnout, right? I'm not saying everyone goes through this. Some people can see advice like write every day and they genuinely not just have the time but can do it and they don't feel burnt out. Well, me personally, as much as I love writing, and trust me, I really do love it, yes, I get burnt out. And if you are just like me, that does not mean you don't love writing at all. What would mean you don't love writing at all, you don't love it anymore, is, excuse me, if you were to take a break from writing and maybe the thought of even going back to writing is like, ugh, do I really want to do that? Then I would, if you get to a moment like that, it could be maybe you're not satisfied with the work in progress, the story you're trying to tell. Maybe you're not satisfied with it anymore, right? Or just the idea of starting something new and leaving that on the back burner for some time, or just scrapping it all together. Even starting something new is not something you want to do. Then it's a situation where I would say maybe writing isn't necessarily a passion of yours. And that is perfectly fine too. We are allowed to change our minds. We are allowed to be happy, you know? So I know this video kind of turned into a different, I guess a different theme, I guess. But it's all relative, It's if this is something you really love doing, don't feel guilty because you saw somebody on YouTube or TikTok even or whatever, or some successful writer that says that worked for them. Because a lot of the advice, whether it's you're getting it from me or whatever, we're just giving advice on stuff that's worked for us and that didn't work for us. That doesn't mean it's a definitive yes or no. Because ultimately, practice is what's at play when it comes to what will work for you and what is successful for you. Some authors do things that are they find success in doing things other authors do not. Some writers do things that they're not willing to do things because it just doesn't feel right to them. If writing every day is not something that it's not how you get the creative juices flowing, by all means don't write every day. Because even days when I'm not writing, yes, I know I love writing because I'm still thinking about that scene. I'm still thinking about creating it. I take these off days to get out in nature, to decompress, so I'm not sitting at my laptop screen and thinking, man, how am I going to do this? I'm just staring at the words or staring at or rereading the passage before just to trying to come up with something. I take the time away from said story while still thinking about it from time to time and then getting back to my laptop and saying, boom, that's what's going to be the next scene. Boom, that's what's going to happen. That's just how I work. But yeah, as with all the advice I'm giving, you can take whatever you want. You can do whatever you feel is best for you. I'm just sharing my thoughts on the aspect of, is writing every day a good advice? No, I was being hyperbolic when I said it's terrible. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't necessarily think it's the most healthiest advice you should give to any writer in general. So that's just my thoughts on it. And yeah, until next time, until next video, y'all take care out there.